Today on Refined, Seattle's hottest band on Fame touring and their feud with Katy Perry.
3, 4, crunch.
Then,
crunch.
My butt is on fire. Like, I better have the nicest butt you've ever seen.
no pain, no gain. Refined's workout week rolls on with one of the most brutal classes of the week. Plus, move over Willy Wonka. Refined gets a golden ticket to tour an amazing Northwest chocolate factory. And coffee, anyone?
We are Seattle through and through.
We pop into some of the city's tiniest Java spots.
Beautiful.
Seattle Refined starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, over the years, Seattle has cemented its place as a music mecca. From Heart to Pearl Jam to Fleet Foxes, Seattle just keeps making interesting music. Case in point, Seattle's newest darling, Tacocat. Yes, their name is a palindrome, but that may be the least interesting thing about this fantastic band. Tacocat may just be Seattle's busiest band.
Oh yeah, it's really crazy here. A lot of touring. So much tour. All over the country, around Europe.
South by Southwest, and then, and then we did another U.S. tour.
And then we did Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, and then we went straight to Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, then we did another U.S. tour. We played the Bernie Sanders rally.
Oh yeah.
There was like so much stuff this year.
We had the Powerpuff Girls thing that happened.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Cartoon Network did like a little bit of a revamp on the show, and they wanted a new song, and they asked us to do it.
Yeah, and it was a cartoon that was popular like when we were young, so it was
cool. We actually have a lot more little girl fans that come up to us at shows and like sing that song to us and stuff. It's kind of insane.
Currently, 3 of the members of Tacocat live in the same Central District house, which has been home to dozens of Seattle musicians through the years and features heavily in many of the band's music videos.
I Hate the Weekend was filmed in this room.
So was Scully.
This couch, actually, the cracks of this couch are still filled with candy.
Bridge to Hawaii as the front of the house, and then Lila's room.
Dance sequences
in
the living room.
That happened here too, yeah.
Oh yeah, we turned that
Filmed
wall
on our...
into like a green screen.
Another of the band's music videos landed them in a feud with none other than Katy Perry.
We were watching the Super Bowl, and we had just that year released the Crimson Wave music video.
Mm-hmm.
And
like 4 months before that at least.
So the halftime show starts happening, and as the beach portion starts happening, I was like, looks an awful lot like our video.
And then
all of a
everyone
sudden,
started
my phone
texting
just,
us,
blowing up. Yeah, everyone started texting us like, can you believe this? So I had to tweet something.
Oh yeah, we tweeted something. Twitter was popping off, and then someone from MTV emailed us the next day, and they're like, "Oh, we want some comments on this Katy Perry feud," and we were like, "Oh God."
People got actually mad on our behalf. And I was like, no, I love Katy Perry. I don't care.
If you're a Northwest music aficionado, you'll notice that Tacocat draws a lot of inspiration from the feminist riot girl scene that exploded out of Olympia in the 1990s.
I think that an early thing is we all really liked Bratmobile.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Bratmobile play when I was probably like 18, and I'd just been starting playing bands and stuff in high school, and I saw them play live, and they really blew my mind.
Yeah, for sure. And beyond like the feminist concepts that were really powerful, because I'd never heard anything like that before, I kind of just was so enamored with the idea that you could just make a band if you wanted to, because it had never occurred to me before. I was like, no, you have to like be a classically trained person, or like no one will let you do that. You can just like learn as you're going, I guess, was something that was really inspiring.
Which we did.
Yeah.
Tacocat is back on tour in February and March, and you can also catch them this year at Coachella. To find out more, log on to our website. So we know that Tacocat will perform at the Coachella Festival this year, but will they play Upstream? That's one of the many question marks still surrounding Paul Allen's Monster Music Festival set for Pioneer Square this May. Hopefully, we will know the lineup of performers soon. Upstream has released the names of the keynote speakers for its Artist Summit, and they are impressive. Quincy Jones, Macklemore, and label founder Portia Sabin will headline the two-day industry think tank at Seattle's WAMU Theater. Tickets are available right now. To learn more about all things Upstream, log on to SeattleRefined.com. Music may soothe the savage beast, but chocolate does a pretty darn good job too. That's why when we heard about a local chocolate maker opening its doors for public tours, we wanted to be the first ones to get inside. 25 years ago, self-taught chocolatier Gene Thompson set out to build a company with true Northwest values, concocting delicious, distinctive chocolate with locally sourced ingredients. Today, you can find Seattle chocolates and J. Cocoa products across the country. And now, for the first time, you can tour their factory.
We actually started this month, and we're so excited because it's 25 years Seattle Chocolates has never opened its door to the public. And you saw kind of what that involved. Building a glass wall and building a walkway that's 120 feet long that goes into the production area. So it was a big undertaking, but we're really, really excited to let people get to know the brand, the company, and to learn a little bit more about Gene.
The beginning process starts all the way to my right.
I think Seattle Chocolates is different than other chocolate bars you might find in the market because it's a truffle bar. So that means that the center has a soft melt-away texture, so it kind of floods your mouth with flavor and melts really quickly. So it's chubby and it's fat and it's absolutely delicious. And we really try to be inspired by Seattle and the Northwest. When we come up with our new flavors, we take flavors really seriously. Here, as you can see, just some of the samples of the ingredients that we have. And we really try to source locally. So our coffee is roasted about 1.5 miles away, Joe's Garage. Our toffee's made in Woodinville. Our caramels are made on Whidbey Island. So wherever we can, we try to bring in those local ingredients.
The tasting that we have 6 flavors. It kind of shows a little bit of history about our company as well.
One of the things that we want to do here is really get people to experience chocolate in ways that they haven't done before. Really getting people to think about it as the complex ingredient that it is. Similar to coffee or to wine, where the cacao is grown can really impact the taste and flavor and texture of that chocolate. Pairing it with other ingredients. So our white chocolate, which somebody's already eaten all of it, with orange and cayenne pepper, really pairs great with whiskey. Our milk chocolates with beer, our dark chocolates with wine, but having people discover chocolate with other foods that they love and putting them together in new ways. So we really want people to explore all of that and have fun at the same time. We're in Tukwila. We are maybe 5 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes from downtown, and there's a bus stop like right out in front of our factory store. So really close to South Center. People can show up or they can book online. So go to seattlechocolates.com, tours, and you can book up to 15 people at a time at any time slot.
To learn more about the Seattle Chocolates Tour, log on to our website. Seattle Refined is just getting started. It doesn't look right. How come yours looks better than mine? Coming up, an espresso expert puts yours truly to the test. But first,
I'm gonna hurt tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk. No one talk to me tomorrow.
our refined guinea pigs face their toughest workout of the week. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, Refined is thinking healthy these days with our very first workout week. We're sweating it out at some of the hottest fitness studios in Seattle to see which ones are really worth your time and your money. All this week, you'll see 2 Refined team members try the top boutique style gyms in the area. Yesterday, Britt and Gina got worked at Orange Theory. Today, it's all about Pure Barre, where they quickly learned it's a lot harder than it looks.
The big draw to Pure Barre, hands down, is that it works.
When Gina and Britt first arrived at the Pure Barre in Green Lake, they thought it was a dance class. Turns out, they were about to get one of the most intense workouts of the week.
I actually, about a year and a half ago, did a Groupon with a friend, did Pure Barre, and I walked in there thinking I was all that and that this is just ballet. And I started doing it, and like very quickly, like my whole body is shaking.
I am nervous to try this just because I've heard that you feel like you're not doing a lot, but then all of a sudden your muscles really start to shake and kind of give out.
Pure Barre is a total body workout that fuses together elements of ballet conditioning, Pilates, some lightweight work, and a lot of like isometric deep strength work. So the first class can be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of jargon. Left arm wraps around the waist, hold on to the bar. Turn your right toes out, so take this right hip in closer to the bar. Just like in like a yoga class where there's a lot to learn about our technique, there's so much to focus on that it's not the time to judge somebody else. Nobody's judging, we're accepting of everybody. And it's your time to really just focus on yourself.
Sammy, the instructor, was spot on. Britt and Gina were overwhelmed, but powered through like champs.
It was probably one of the hardest workouts I've ever done, just because the moves are so foreign and they're so different that I was feeling muscles that I haven't ever worked before.
It's one of those things where, you know, you can tell you're working one muscle group like more than you've ever worked in your entire.
Yeah.
Like I've worked like the outer thigh of my left leg more than I've ever worked it in 27 years in that class just now.
When you had the rubber band things wrapped around and you were like, pulsating, and then when you go down, and then like just the repetition of it was dreadful.
When you're doing the plie at the bar and you're literally just like raising your left leg or your right leg up and down, up and down, up and down. Why is that the hardest thing I've ever done in my life?
I know. My butt is on fire. Like I better have the nicest butt you've ever seen by tomorrow.
3, 4, crunch, crunch.
The class left Gina and Britt mentally and physically drained. But thanks to Sammy and the other women in the class, they gave Pure Barre 2 sore thumbs up.
Sammy is such a perfect, you know how you put up in your room a picture of who you want to be?
She's a perfect human being.
She's a perfect human being.
Yeah.
So she's doing the class and you're like, if I just raise my leg a little higher, I'll look like Sammy.
Yes. I mean, you look at the girls in there and they have killer bodies and
fitspiration.
Yeah, seriously, and they're really nice and there's a good vibe in there. So I think it'd be fun to try it again for sure.
I'm gonna hurt tomorrow.
Yeah.
No one talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Britt and Gina need to rest up. They take on local chain Ian Fitness tomorrow as Refine's workout week continues. Why they said it was one of the best fitness classes they've ever been to. Next on Seattle Refined, maybe size doesn't matter. We visit some tiny coffee shops that pack a big punch. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, there's no question when it comes to coffee, Seattle is the caffeine capital of the world. Of course, we know about Starbucks, Tully's, and Pete's, but what about the little guy? Well, we hit the streets and found what really makes Seattle unique, the hole in the walls where everybody can catch a buzz.
I just have a single short split shot.
Let's start in Ballard's West Woodland, where Cafe Bambino is the caffeine king of the neighborhood. It's tiny, under 200 square feet inside, but it's big on flavor and still kicking after 2 decades.
This is the only place in North America you can get our coffee. It's called Ballard, and it's roasted over a wood fire and hazelnut fire outside Rome.
Cafe Bambino is a work of art, literally. Beautiful original works by the owners fill the place, all the way down to the handmade coffee mugs.
Your coffee shop is your coffee shop. So if you live in this neighborhood or you drive to Ballard High School, this is your coffee shop.
Just down the street, get your fix in Fremont at ETG, short for Espresso to Go. It's been hanging around since the early 80s. It's one of the oldest and smallest cafes in Seattle. Just 1 table and 2 chairs inside. What makes your place special? I mean, when you come in here, you got the big chandelier. It's tiny, but that makes it kind of quaint.
Yeah. And I always try to not be like a shop, just be like someone's walking in your living room. And so you don't have that mechanical voice or you the, hello, can I help you? You know, the formula talk. I just can't take formula talk, and no one in here really, I mean, if they do it, it's real.
ETG roasts their own organic coffee, pulling espresso to perfection. Look at that, you got the layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the, what's the bottom called?
The heart.
The heart?
This is the body here.
Yep.
And then the crema's on top. And once everything settles, you're just gonna get a really fine layer of crema on top.
That's what I like.
Can I get these?
One of the smallest coffee places we found is right here, Monorail Espresso. Yeah, there are no tables, there's no chairs. You can only order right here from the window. But you know what? This place might be tiny, but it is rich with history. The downtown spot is Seattle's first espresso company to have a coffee cart. That was back in the early 80s. It's on display at the Museum of History and Industry.
We are Seattle through and through to its core. Originally we were a coffee cart, had a coffee cart, and it was underneath the monorail, and it was the very first coffee cart. We were one of the first people in Seattle doing espresso specifically. So yeah, that's what makes it special.
Every day the lines run deep. Nobody complains.
It's hole in the wall. It's I don't have to go into a cafe and sit down and commit to it. I can walk past and grab it on the way, and it doesn't stop my day.
It's really smooth and really creamy.
Good?
Beautiful.
And up on Capitol Hill, you gotta try Espresso Vivace.
Coffee, for one, is a really good antidepressant, and in such a gloomy, gray city, we need all the help we can get.
Their sidewalk cafe is small, but bold and beautiful when it comes to latte art. They say they're Seattle's original designers when it comes to the creamy creations.
It's a very fluid, living art form as far as working with your palate and knowing, because you've got to have just the right milk texture and the crema, and you got to know how to play with it, and you got to be able to judge what the milk is doing while you're pouring it in there.
It's so cool, I had to give it a try. It doesn't look right. How come yours looks better than mine? Can you fix mine?
Because about, 18 years, 364 days experience.
Oh, man.
So,
all right, try to
okay,
save
so
mine.
yeah, at this point, I'm just going to shove it in kind of fast and pour it fast.
You're going to save it.
I am going to save it.
Oh, you did save it. Look at that. Still tastes good to me. Thank you. By the way, a recent study by Smart Asset ranks Seattle the #1 city for coffee fanatics. Factors include price, taste, number of stores per capita, manufacturers, and roasters. Also, New Orleans was second, followed by Portland, San Francisco, and Oakland. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Well, every day there are so many negative stories out there, which is why here at Refine, we're always on the lookout for the stuff that might inspire you. From our sister station in Portland, we found this one about an athlete talented enough to follow his dream and courageous enough to let it go. About 5 years ago,
my 7th and 8th grade years, I knew I wanted to play basketball.
Jake Hansel fell in love with the game.
You just forget everything else that's going on in your life, like whether it be positive or negative.
He made the varsity basketball team his freshman year at Camas High School and only got better.
He's a good point guard. He's past first point guard, and I love it. And if we need him to score, he can score.
First team All-League. Plenty of offers from colleges to go play for them. And now, during his senior year,
when I actually had to stop playing, it was like, wow.
Sidelined.
That's like one big outlet of my life that was kind of taken from me and like you kind of lost.
Jake was diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy in March, an enlarged heart muscle that makes intense sports dangerous.
It was pretty crushing, I think, for him to kind of have that, everything that he was wrapped up in taken away from him.
And Jake could have taken that heartache and walked away from the team. But notice, he's still here, still practicing, helping his coach make the other players better. More than that, he started fundraising for OHSU's cardiovascular unit.
I know that his goal was for this to not happen to anybody else, you know, for a parent out there to maybe go have their kids screened.
I figured, you know, the best way for me to get past it is by attacking it in a positive way.
And that's what makes Jake Hansel our everyday hero. The game may be over for him, but he's still right there with the assist.
I could look at it as being, oh, it's so unfair that this happened to me, or oh, woe is me, you know. But you know, the thing is, like, I'm still healthy.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Refine. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here.